I would request Dr. Parminderjeet Kaur to kindly wind up the session as soon as possible, and please invite all the guests of this session. Handing over to Dr. Parminderjeet Kaur, please. A big round of applause for Dr. Parminderjeet Kaur. This is our session now.
So the first panel discussion and the topic is balancing innovation, customer and data protection in fintech, and it is led by the moderator, Dr. Parminderjeet Kaur. So glad to have you on stage.
I will delve into intriguing questions surrounding the growing fintech sector and its various facets. So our first speaker, Dr. Sandeep Chatterjee, Senior Director, Group Coordinator, Head of Division E-Waste and Circular Economy, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Our next guest is Dr. G.R. Adwinder, Senior Consultant IT at DPI. So, Sir Sandeep Chatterjee, sir, as Manoj is already informed, he is a seasoned techno administrator and a global policymaker with 35 years of experience in cyber law, data protection, electronics. As group coordinator at Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, he has played a key role in translating research into commercial viability projects. He has contributed significantly to the field of electronic-based circular economy, resource efficiency discussions globally. Dr. Chatterjee has received recognition including President's Award in 2014 for his impactful work. Sir, I would like to ask a question. What measures and regulations has your ministry put in place to balance fostering innovation in fintech sector while ensuring robust customer data protection and privacy? Yes. You use this mic.
Actually, if you see our initiative from 2014 or 2015, Digital India push in the country, which actually transformed the entire digital space. Many unfold technology solution has come up with the government push policy, and also around different research and policy issues we are pushing in year to come. You must have seen we have already achieved 136 crores Aadhaar enabling. Already 120 crores internet users. Mobile subscribers also gone 114 crores, but 85 crores are using the smartphone. With this enabling ecosystem, with the increased internet and smartphone use and cheaper data, enabling the fintech sector very much. So the UPI has started further regularize our Indian economy by the different type of fast payment mode, and facilitates the instant money transfer from different banks to bank. And you must have seen that already we have reached 30 crores UPI users, 86 crores of your e-commerce. And from 2016 to this year, you must have seen that the cash use has dropped from 77% to now 21%. Already we captured around $39 billion of global market, and there is a possibility of $5 trillion fintech markets worldwide, and we are second, largest growth story for last 5-6 years. As Madam was asking, what are the next, how we can come up with the next level of growth. So there I will be mentioning few points only. You must have seen we are using technology and data-driven mechanism for giving the services. So since it is depending on that, so we have to make a balance between the innovation, customer experience and data protection. Fintech companies must keep in mind that latest regulation and compliance mechanism around the world, GDPR in Europe, CCPA in USA, and recently in August 11 we come up with a DPDP Act. We are forming the rules around it. so it has not yet enacted act. Legal experts specializes with data protection and financial regulation would be very important for all those companies to give a solution around that innovation. Implement end-to-end encrypted solutions, secure data transmission protocol to protect the customer data from unauthorized access. We should have a robust IT infrastructure, cyber security tools, firewalls, intrusion detection system, employee security training, incident response plan to act and swiftly during the data breach, and adopt security audits, vulnerability access needed to fix potential weaknesses in the system. We have different type of center of excellence around the different banks are coming up for supporting this fintech ecosystem today. If you see the almost 90,000 enrollment of startup companies in the country, majority are the fintech. So in this case, we have to leverage further. So that new innovation, if you are thinking, how will we handle the data? How can we do the service and anonymize the data so that if breaches are happening, it is not affecting the users. So in the new ecosystem of data protection regime, we have to invest on R&D and innovation so that the solution should be faster enough, but it should be robust, and there should not be any security breaches. And if it is happening, that is not actually affecting the users. Because once we will be taking the global market, so the delivery system and the quality services will be the key for our next level of growth. So that area we should think. That is my initial comment.
Thank you, sir, for providing your valuable points. I request other distinguished speakers, Dr. Vinod Tripathi, Joint Managing Director, AII Government of India, please come on the stage. Mr. Deepak Gupta, CEO of GAN United Bank, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Mr. Ashutosh Langre, President, Tetrasoft Technology Private Limited. Ms. Sakshi Bhalla, Assistant Director, Marketing, Valiance Analytics Private Limited. Mr. Ankit Shah, CEO, Interstore Software Private Limited. Mr. Umang Sharma, Senior Data Scientist, TomTom India Private Limited. And Mr. Ranjit Kumar, Co-Founder, Team Pumpkin Digital Marketing. Please come on the dais. So our next question to our chair, Dr. Raghavendra Ji. Dr. Raghavendra is a senior consultant in Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, a retired civil servant. He served as Joint Director Secretary in the Department of Justice, Ministry of Law and Justice, focusing on policy reforms for ease of doing business. Sir, with such a vast experience, can you tell us about any specific strategies or best practices you recommend for fintech company, or your some insights in this space?
Thank you. Thanks a lot. I would like to congratulate Abhishek ji and Omkar Pandey ji for this great initiative and giving a chance to me to convey the importance of the policy initiatives Government of India has taken. There are many experts, right to left, to talk about the in recent act which Government of India introduced, Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which replaced a bill which was introduced in the Parliament, Data Protection Bill, and precursor to this, the put a Swami judgment of the Supreme Court, and following up the directions, even the other judgment, Government of India constituted the Justice Sri Krishna Committee, and we picked up the best practices all over the world, and my friend will be explaining about the GDPR issues and other issues, how it came in, and how government revised considering the innovations are happening. As an IT expert, I see a lot of innovations in phonetic industry. So the National Intellectual Property Policy of Government of India, which was introduced in 2016, envisages these kind of disruptive, exponential technological developments and how the policy should protect this. The entire industry, and congratulations to all the bodies, many maybe startups, and under this national IP policy, Government of India is promoting these startups, and also there is a policy of the faster patent granting here. So the steps are being taken that to protect innovation of the innovators, especially coming up with the startup. My friend Deepak Pagla very well explained the number of growth of startups, not only in all sectors, including the fintech, how IP is important. So entire fintech is driven by now the emerging technologies ABCD. Everyone call it ABCD because you use A for artificial intelligence, B for blockchain, C for cloud computing, and D the data, the big data. With the introduction of AI, I remember when I submitted my PhD thesis and awarded in January for the intellectual property protection, artificial intelligence, and text data mining. 6 months past, I go back, and if I submit my thesis today, it will be different. The kind of magic these exponential technologies are doing and driving the entire phonetic industry. The data protection, the reason why the Digital Data Protection Act took a different avatar than the bill which was submitted in 2019 is these kind of innovations taking place, the kind of protection Government of India is giving. If you see the Global Innovation Index, which is brought out by the World Intellectual Property Organization every year, India has jumped from 81 rank to 40. So 41 ranks India has jumped last year, and this year India maintained that rank because the contribution of the young mind, innovative brains which have done that. During the COVID second lockdown, beautiful minds have brought out the non-fungible token technology which came out of the fungible tokens like bitcoins, based on the blockchain, the digital ledgers, and these technologies for transport and innovation take place. And if you see the growth of this innovation in India, especially driving as a backbone to the fintech, and with the support of the government IP policy. Before demonetization, the growth was 10%, and it has crossed 20% in post demonetization. And then more than 10 countries have adopted the UPI payment policy, and UPI we have exported, and many countries are in the line to adopt this technology, spread over their nations. The kind of benefits they are getting. Easy payments. But the technology innovation has to improve to remove the problems of unbanking or underbanking, which fintech industry has to take care of that. And I am a strong supporter of introduction of a new legislation, that is the Trade Secret Act in India. Because if you fail to protect your algorithms, artificial intelligence or software that is beaten by the section 3K, it says that the software per se, that computer program per se, or algorithm, business methods which was run by your fintech industry, not protected patent. What will happen? But it gives only the technical effect that will be protected. But if copyright also doesn't protect your databases, digital databases, because lack of originality, unlike you, we don't have non-original databases. That is the reason why I'm am the strongest supporter to protect your investment and your secrecy, business secrets, which is based on the databases, and for that, trade secret law is required, and hopefully government will take initiatives to reduce. I'll get back.
Thank you, sir. We find your valuable input, and I request Dr. Pandey also to please come on the stage. As we are scarcity of time, so I request all speakers to be quick. A quick question to Mr. Deepak Gupta, CEO, Afghan United Bank. As a representative of Afghan United Bank, any key points or strategies to bridge the economic gap, or some key points you wish to highlight?
Thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to thank this connect and congratulate them for inviting us from globally. I really represent the word Indo, being an Indian and representing the global citizenship. So I had a bank in Afghanistan, and of course there is a huge opportunities for fintech companies. First of course, we have all discussed about the innovation, digitalization, data protection. All this is happening, but one main reason which I have been experiencing there, that is the financial, what is called as a financial inclusion. The fintech companies should go beyond the limits to reach to the underbanked areas. See what I have been doing. There is a word called innovation. We have been discussing this morning, but innovation relates like what we have done over here. We have expanded our network not by our own presence, through fintech companies. They have been working as an agent for bank. We have been discussing, there was having a panel discussion or addressal that banks has to maximize their reach. So how to do that? The best solution to outreach to the underbanked area is through fintech companies. Of course, data protection, customer base, confidentiality of information, cyber, everything, regulations is there. But fintech has to maximize their outreach to the underbanked areas where they can support the people. Peer-to-peer loan provisioning should be there. This is where we are missing over there. Peer-to-peer loan provisioning, financial inclusion has to be. This where we have done in Afghanistan. So if we check the India and Afghanistan as of now, the trade is $900 million as of today. I had a long discussion with the embassy. So there is a lot of opportunities for fintech to move. Mostly the fintech companies are limited to service providers. See, apart from that, they have to maximize their outreach. They should capitalize. Even in Afghanistan, most of the service providers are these fintech companies. So my only submission and to address to the forum is to capitalize these opportunities. There is huge abundance opportunities are there to do those things and reach to the underbanked areas under financial inclusion.
Thank you. Mr. Ashutosh, President of Terrasoft Technology Private Limited, sir, any key points for you to shaping future trajectories and any key points for future fintech, present fintech? We have Mr. Ashutosh. In case of Mr. Vikas Kamra, we have Sakshi Balaman. So, ma'am, any quick key points what led you to pursue this field or any key points in fintech company?
So hi, I would like to introduce. So my name is Sakshi, and I lead the marketing vertical at Variance Analytics, and we are basically a global data analytics and AI ML company. And we have been working with a lot of public and private sector companies across different verticals, which ranges from retail, manufacturing, industrial. We do have expertise across domains like artificial intelligence, machine learning, computer vision, and IoT analytics. And today I would like to throw some light on one of our key projects which we have recently done in terms of tackling the human-animal wildlife conflict. So that's a quick small video which I'd like to play first. Guys, please help me. this project is about a small implementation that we did to mitigate the conflict of man and tiger. So there's a small village where there had been incidents of tigers attacking the locals. So we ran a small project. If you could see at the back slide, there was a small setup where we have our cameras placed and the hooters. So once an animal is detected, so the cameras are placed within 500 meters of the proximity where the animal movements are likely to happen. Mostly near the riverside where the animal comes in, for the water. So then once the tiger is spotted or a bear is spotted, it gets captured by a camera and the alarms are raised. And the locals and the forest authorities are notified of the same by the way of notifications through mobile and emails. So this is one piece of our platform, and recently we have developed a control room center as well. So there have been incidents where sometimes some kids are playing, or there could be an incident where a person sees that human or a kid is getting attacked by an animal. So in that case, how do you reach out to the authorities? So we are working on setting up a toll number where you can just call up and either it gets captured by the camera or the person can report, and there's an immediate system that gets done, and the patrol vehicles and rescue vehicles can help mitigate the same. So I know we are running late. There's something else which I'd like to talk about. The smart policing solutions that we have been working on built recently. So it again uses computer vision, where we are working on identifying people not wearing the helmets, or there are people who are disobeying the rules in terms of not following the zebra crossing rules and not wearing helmets. So this has also been implemented by us and currently being in pilot with one of the notable authorities, which I would not like to name right now. So at the end, like to conclude, I would say that these are just few of the many problems that we are tackling in the government space. So we believe that AI has much more to deliver for a country like India, where we across agriculture, healthcare, logistics and more. In case you would like to know about what we do and like what could be the opportunities of collaboration, we can have a chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Sakshi, for your very interesting video and very impressive work. So I request Mr. Umang Sharma, Senior Data Scientist, Dr. India Private Limited, with the data science background and the importance of how data can as a new gold mine. So any insights from you from the experience of that?
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction and giving me the briefing. I think it might not be an overstatement to say that data is the new electricity. Everything that you see is just getting started right now, and it creates an opportunity for everyone, especially in this panel, in this room right now. We have a lot more to achieve in data, especially in terms of fintech and other industries. Fintech is just getting started. From traditional mainframe systems to now cloud, it's a huge migration, and a lot of companies are trying it. It's not a new migration. Apart from that, new fields like AI safety, AI trust, data governance, these are coming up. And these fields are still in very nascent stage. We are still scratching the tip of the iceberg. So I truly believe entrepreneurs, technologists and government people, officials, we can all work together and create more data culture in the country with more stable and strong data protection, data governance laws. At the same time, we have to look at the big picture that some people might say that AI is dangerous for us. I have been practicing AI for more than 10 years now, and I can definitely say it's not dangerous. It's only going to help us a lot. So data and AI go hand in hand. As long as we can practice both together, and as long as we can do it safely and in a very precise manner, I think it will lead to this country's growth in an unimaginable manner. So yeah, those are my 2 cents in AI and data.
Thank you so much for your quick points. We have Mr. Ankit Shah, CEO, Intersource Software Private Limited in Security. Any the experience of the technology and security services or anything you wish to mention?
Well, thank you, ma'am. I spent my first 20 years in India and the last 20 years in US. Been in the cybersecurity space for a very, very long time. And to what you guys mentioned, data governance, compliance, risk, I've seen first-hand data governance in San Francisco, so I know how important personal identifiable information is. To add to the thought process out here, if 1 out of every 3 Indian is at a risk out of cyber hack. That can come from the Aadhaar card hack, or that can come from the bank hacks, or that can come from a lot more outside unwanted interference that could happen with the data that we are experiencing right now. Our company, what we do is we work with the Department of Defense in the United States. We work with 7 different states of US, and we also work with the federal government. They have built in very, very amazing governance laws around data privacy. And our product that they have been using, we are bringing into India. We are planning to hire around 5,000 people in India in the next 2 years. To make it a point that that product actually safeguards the bank's customers and their private data along the entire initiative. So what it does, it has 150 data elements that can be actually managed and measured by the time they're logging in. So most of the hacks, if you guys analyze, if you have corporations, that comes in through your customer service. Anybody can call in to my bank and say, hey, I'm Ankit Shah, and oh, these are my details. Give me my account number, my password, and the rest is history. Forget about my account. Every account in the bank is kind of hacked, right? So our product has been devised in such a way that it kind of goes through 150 encryption points to actually solve the issue of any external hack happening either to a corporation or to a bank or even to the government, right? We all have our details. In US we have social security, in India we have now Aadhaar card. Very proud of that initiative. So that has to go to a very high-end level of encryption, and that is what we are able to solve the problem for. I can go in much more details, but in the essence of time,
during lunchtime also.
Thank you so much.
We have Dr. Vinod Tripathi, Joint General Manager, Aviation Safety, Government of India. So, sir, you are from such an important field. Any inputs from your side in the fintech sector?
Yes. Surprisingly, thanks to Business Connect, and surprisingly, I wonder how I can relate aviation with fintech. But I could find a clue. Like in aviation, we have a split-second decision making. And decision making is based on data. So, in aviation, decision is taken by the person sitting behind the screen, but alerts are given by the system. So, accordingly, if you go by the analogy, the same system should also work in fintech. But the thing is that fintech, most of the decisions can be taken on a regular basis by the system itself. There is no man required behind. So, as of now, you see, since I am in aviation safety, we do hazard analysis and risk management. Risk management, our international organization, that is ICAO, has already specified and has gone beyond and said that November 2019 onwards, every risk management has to have D3M. D3M is data-driven decision making. Any decision you take, it should be backed by data. Without data, no decision. I mean, you cannot base on your intuition. So, similar things should happen in fintech as well, in financial paradigm. Like we have home loans, which are interest is calculated annually or quarterly. The fintech can revise this on a daily basis. Whatever you have in your bank, daily basis interest is calculated, interest is deposited, and so you have a daily business. So that type of data structure, that type of data.
At to that, the underwriters across the world, when they actually do very machine learning based data analysis, where they approve your loans without any human intervention or any biased approach.
It is happening, sir.
Yes.
We are getting loans in 10 seconds even.
Correct.
There are
So,
the
so there is a
companies
lot of
which are-
algorithms that do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Our next speaker, Mr. Ranjit Kumar, co-founder Team Pumpkin Digital Marketing. Your take on this, sir, please.
I'm Ranjit from yeah. So I run a marketing organization about 10 years old. So I've seen at the cusp of everything we have talked. I'll take this 2 minutes. I know. So I was in Bihar yesterday, and I saw a scene where a woman who may not be even, I guess, educated, semi-educated. Probably the ATM was, I guess, 10 kilometers. I was deep interiors into Bihar, and it was about 10 kilometers radius. I don't think any financial institution would have been there, neither a bank nor ATM and so on. And I was actually buying pan for my father. And I went and bought pan for my father. And I saw women came and bought a cigarette in Bihar, I mean baby cigarette, whatever you call it. And she paid by UPI. And I was like stunned. So at the intersection, what UPI has done, everyone knows really. I mean, on the service side, what I have seen over the last 10 years is possibly the entire chain. We started work with free charge, and at that time there was no UPI. I'm talking about 10, 11 years back, and the problem that the startup was solving about the basic phone recharge, which today we take it for granted, and we don't go. Then the wallet came and so on. Second cusp of the second wave of fintech revolution, which we saw with actually public markets, stock markets. Today, you have, we work with ATM money at about 5-7 years back. You cannot buy a mutual fund without going to a broker, and it was all paperwork and so on. So that has a huge, tremendous in terms of public markets are all digital now, and all that happens. The third thing which we have not yet seen is basically how commerce will get enabled by fintech. I mean, today if someone comes to me for a building commerce and building business and D2C and stuff, the expectation is that I have to launch in 30 days. Gone are the days that you have all the bells and whistles. So I think the most important time is yet to come. How AI, how fintech as a ONDC and all these are evolving. And I think in the next 10 years, I don't think that this is the path for us to be a superpower, which is financial technologies, because all other global superpowers are financial superpowers. So I think that's the stage, and should be the best.
Thank you, Dr. Ranjit.
That is very much correct. To address one of your points that you have mentioned for UPI, that role of UPI in the financial inclusion has been commendable. This is no doubt about it. Now another word which I have experienced in my life, in my current job, that is the word is wallet integration, but that relates to cash-based interventions. So fintech needs to work on that cash-based intervention where suppose you are not having any ATM or a bank physical motor built in to have a financial. What is happening in developing world as of now, which I experience because I travel across. So that is point where I am having a bank account, but I can withdraw from any of the this wallets. Cash, I get the cash. So now this economy and the fintechs in the world are doing these cash-based interventions, and the best example to quote is the UN disbursements. Now entire the wars where we are having so many war zones these days, and where this humanitarian aid is done through this fintech through cash-based intervention. So we need to focus on that also.
Yeah, thank you. We can continue our discussion during lunchtime also, because we are short of time. So our eminent speakers have been their insightful inputs in different. We are all from such a diverse field. So we have seen the importance of data, IPR, data protection, AI. So I request our guest of honor, Dr. Sandeep Chatterjee, to provide some final key takeaways and summary of this session, sir.
you, ma'am. Actually, many users experience also that because we are Government of India now the forming of the DPDP rules, then actually it will be implemented in the country. So these are the inputs are very important. As I mentioned initially in my initial brief comment, we are studying the Indian market and how the collected data are giving the services. When the data protection rule was not there, it was easier. So what I want to mean that now innovation and R&D should be concentrated on how the data you are collecting, what is the purpose of the data, how limited data you are collecting, and also how you are anonymizing the data so that the breaches are happening, it is not healthy. Of course, due to the growth of UPI and growth of fintech, they are going to the banking sector or semi, non-banking population. That is one of the inclusive, growth of the banking. It is going to happen, and this is the fintech can only do that. But with that growth, we will be interested to see how they are growing as a robust companies, so that they can capture the global market. Because if you are really interested to grow on economic ladder, you have to see the developed economy. And as last 4-5 decades, we have seen the ICT sectors have grown. So we are interested to see the fintech sector to the next generation of our growth parameters. That will be the our comment from government.
Question from any panel audience also?
Hello.
Talking about fintech, there is a financial aspect. And when we are talking about the financial aspect, why don't we address disputes and the chargebacks? The problem that the number of transactions is growing day by day, and the time will come, this chargebacks, the dispute will raise. And the banks, I guess, particularly the PSU banks, they are not capable of handling disputes. Have you ever heard any transaction done on UPI where customer tries to call his bank and then, oh, I just did it by mistake and I want that money back?
So your question is directed to whom?
To anyone who can handle that.
Dr. Chatterjee or Dr. Raghvan, any of you? If you could repeat your question in just brief, one line.
Yes. The question was, what exactly we are talking about under fintech is data protection and every other aspect. But we are talking, why we are not talking about the consumer point of view of transaction disputes and the chargebacks?
Consumer point of view.
Yes.
The entire system, the ecosystem, whether it is the connected companies or any online transactions are taking place, the rule is the service provider has to give a solution, online solution, if any dispute occurs between the customer and the person other side receiver, because the intermediary is the person who is going, the entity which is going giving these services. So it is incumbent upon them to provide and clear these disputes within a given time as per the policy of the government of India. If that
would you like to add?
And then that escalates, we can go and approach the regulator to our station.
Would you like to add something?
So, I think since I have worked with a lot of fintech firms, it's actually a problem of education. It's not a problem of policy or setup and mechanism. I know at least 2%, one is in the room itself. Fraud happens, and if you, in the process, if you report, you get your money back. So it's not as much about the setup of fintech, but it's more about education. Many people do not know what are the remedial measures, and if you know remedial measures and you take it, most cases that actually stops and you get your money back or charges. Most importantly, what modern fintech has done, it has tremendously cut down the cost of transactions. So like you're saying about chargebacks and so on. So a consumer story. The cost to consumer for a transaction is probably 1/100th of what it was, pre-UPI or pre-fintech era. So it's more of an education problem than, say, a policy problem and so on.
Sorry to add, but if you go to the UPI handle on Twitter, you will see a lot of complaints from the consumer where they have reported the transactions to the banking partners, where banking partners were not able to give any satisfactory answers to the complaints raised by the consumers. The problem is the lack of education is not for the consumer, rather it's a lack of education for the banking system.
To all stakeholders in the ecosystem.
Yes, right. The onus lies upon the banking partner in the fintech industry. It is not a private company who can exactly address the issue of the chargebacks and the disputes.
But there are RBI regulations which all these entities have to follow.
That is exactly what the question is. The 10 years back, we were having only 100 number of transactions. The same system was there at the place, same number of staffing was there. But now the transaction has increased 50,000 times or 1 lakh times of what we boast of. How infrastructure has grown up in that space for the disputes and the charges.
Thank you very much. I think you raised a very pertinent question, and some of our panelists are rightly saying that this requires, response by all stakeholders.
I'd just love to finish the conversation. I think it's a great opportunity for all the entrepreneurs to start a solution for that and present it to the government. If that is something that most of us are feeling the pinch for, it is a great opportunity to have a startup in the fintech world for that. With that being said, I'll conclude this talk.
Yeah, and in regard to the education you were talking about, it's not the education, it's more about, information. Flow of information is not there nowadays. Even the mainstream media is not using the proper, because digital transformation is taking place in the pace of tsunami, kind of, But there is no information about that except a few media houses which are giving, And these are the issues which are felt by the consumers and all other people. A lot of issues are there while using the, not only fintech, not only the digital transactions, but in other forms also. So I think the policymakers and the decision makers will take note of it, and all the stakeholders will have to make some easy solutions for ultimately, because it's for the consumer. The transparency is also required in that,
Change your banking to government banking. They are much better than private banks in terms of resolution and so on.
Yeah, thank you. With these words, I would like to hand over to our panelists. She will be closing this session, and then after we will be going for the lunch because it's already 1:30, and the session which was supposed to happen before that, we will be taking just after the lunch. So, with regrets, Dr. Paravinder ji, please.
Thank you everyone, and thank you all eminent speakers for providing your valuable insight for this session. Thank you.
Thank you, and now it's time for the lunch. Let's have lunch together, and then after we'll join for our BGM Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited to kindly come on the dais. Under the government of India's administrative control, ownership and administrative control of Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, BHEL is diversifying in several areas apart from power generation and all. So he will also be giving a glimpse of what BHEL is doing. But I would request Mr. Samar Mahapatra to kindly come and take it over. A big round of applause for these two leaders, and let me invite other panelists to join.
So happy to see you all back. I hope all your appetite is nicely filled and energized you must be. So please welcome Mr. Samar Mahapatra with a round of applause. And with it, we are starting with our second panel discussion of the day, and the topic is Global Market Navigation, International Expansion Strategies. The stage is all yours.
Good afternoon, everyone here. It's a great event. We have been feeling great since morning. There hasn't been any monotony. And welcome back from lunch. So this is India's time, as everybody has said, in the first half of the day. Yes. So this, thank you. This decade or this century is of India, Bharat. So therefore, talking about global market navigation and scaling up, expansion strategies and scaling up with new green technologies is something which is now India has been doing and shall be doing much faster and much better. And the expansion strategies, global market expansion strategies is going to make it the third largest economy by 2028. Now it looks like the projection is by 2028 it should become the third largest. So we have high expectation, and we are all now proud of being Indian, the way it is going for us in the country and globally. I have the pleasure to have Mr. B.N. Sahu as a panelist from BHEL. I know him since long, and I invite the other panelists, Mr. Santosh Sahu if he is there, Mr. Amit Goel, Mr. Piyush Bhandari, Mr. Virat Bahari, Mr. Adarsh Kumar, and Ms. Yogita Tulsiani. So many of them. We have a full house. Chairperson Mr. Deepak Majumdar, unfortunately couldn't turn up. So what I am going to do is let me introduce the panelists. Mr. B.N. Sahu is the DG and HR with BHEL. Mr. Santosh Sahu. So he's the director of Go Green Warehouse in Rabat. Mr. Amit Goel. Okay. He's the co-founder and chief global strategist PACE 360 Finance from Delhi. Mr. Piyush Bhandari. Okay. He's the co-founder and director Jumping Goose, Bangalore. Yes. And Mr. Virat Bahari, Deputy Director, Trade Promotion Council of India. Mr. Adarsh Kumar, Partner, Pro Ontimus Consulting. And Mr. there. It has come from London. Okay. The organizers have truly made it an international event that way. So, before we go into the question mode, question and response mode, I would request each of you to give one statement, one or two statements about this topic and where does India stand and India is poised for? Global market navigation, international expansion strategies, scaling up with new green technologies in competitive markets. So we start from this line from the right. So what about this topic? Where does India stand and India is poised for this? What do you feel?
My name is Adarsh Kumar, and actually I lead a firm called Brightest Consulting Firm, and I'm a partner there. And this firm is about all these techno-legal disputes, infrastructure disputes. So basically, India is growing a large infrastructure, and a lot of things are coming, like bullet train are coming in India. India is fastest growing in digital technology and others. So we look forward a high growth. And Modi's vision is for $5 trillion India. So it will take, India need to focus on the infrastructure sector as well, because the 10% of the GDP are contributed by the infrastructure sector. So of course, in previous session people were talking about the digital and all. So I believe there will be a combination of digital intervention in infrastructure. But all the drone technology and latest technology in the construction are coming up, which is taking help of the digital program. That is my question.
Thank you. Quite well said. Now, Mr. Santosh.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. I belong to a sector into farmers, farm sector, into agri sector. So you know the kind of opportunities we have seen after COVID. So roti, kapda, makan, these three are the most prevalent, business in India, because population is growing at a very faster rate. So we belong to roti category, so food category. So everybody know what is the potential of India. We are number one in milk, we are number two in fruits, we are number one in vegetables. So all sorts of fruit. So there is a gross domestic value of around 1,000 billion metric ton of food grain and horticultural crops and other agri sector production is there. So the kind of export potential is there. But since this industry is suffering from a few issues like the last mile losses, food losses, around 30 to 40% of the food grains and other food commodities that get spoiled. So that is an area actually at the start of in Go Green warehouses we are trying to minimize that losses through scientific warehousing, cold chain management and other aspects. Similarly, as somebody was telling, last mile is the key. So 80 to 85% of the farmers, they are small and marginal farmers who actually produce the goods, and they do not know the scientific, know how to preserve the food and all that. So that is the second area we are looking at, how the productivity can increase and that losses at farm gate level can be minimized, and the quality of the goods is improved so that we can be a global player. So with that actually we are trying to promote Prime Minister Farmer Producer Organization. That concept has come in 2012, and that is the area we are looking at, how we aggregate the farmers, educate them, teach them, train them, make the BOD, make a startup, farmer startups, and get them into international market. So that is the second area we are doing. So in the later part I can discuss various ways how we are taking this business in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Santosh. You made a statement of roti kapda makan, which I think is valid for India. India has gone beyond roti kapda makan into space and landed on the moon, isn't it? We will not be happy to hear roti kapda makan anymore. So, Mr. B.N. Saha.
Very warm good afternoon to all of you. I represent BHEL, which is an engineering conglomerate. It's a central public sector undertaking of the government of India. And as Pandeji already said that we established in 1956. Right now we have to give you a short glimpse of our company and what we really do and what are our international forays into. So we are a 30,000 strong company in which around we have 9,000 engineers, and we are taking care not only for the power generation equipment manufacturing. Apart from that, we are also in a big way into transmission. We are into transportation. Like we have received recent orders from the Indian Railways for manufacturing 80 Vande Bharat trains, which is the first of its kind to be manufactured in India. We are very proud of that. And it was also a diversification effort of ours, Vande Bharat. And we are also into manufacturing, we are also into the defense sector, aerospace sector, transportation, transmission and all. So traditionally we are into manufacturing power equipments for the thermal power plants. But due to the Paris Agreement and due to the focus of the government towards the renewable sources of energy like solar, because primarily as a company we were not only dealing with thermal power, we were also dealing with hydroelectricity power, we were also dealing with solar, we were also dealing with gas and other forms of energy. But our main base was thermal. So when the government decided or there was a move towards the renewable energy, and most of our skill base was into manufacturing of equipments which were used in the thermal power plants. So we did a lot of upskilling, multi-skilling for our workforce. We did a lot of diversification efforts also. Like as I already told regarding the Vande Bharat trains, recently Chandrayaan. So we manufactured the lithium-ion batteries for that as well as the solar panels for Chandrayaan. And for Navy ships also we are providing them with the guns which is mounted on the Navy ships. So because if you see the diversification effort, if you talk of the matrix, it is at the highest. It is the most risky part of any business. Because in diversification, what you do is you deal with new products as well as you deal with new markets. So that is a challenge in itself. So right now we are going strong on that and we are sure to gain more momentum. Thank you.
Yeah, please come. So good afternoon everybody. My name is Amit Goel and I represent PACE 360. So I am the Chief Global Strategist of PACE 360, and PACE is a pioneer and national leader in the area of algo and HFT trading in India, and also in the macro top-down theme of asset management in India. So we've been in business for about 28 years. And we have been trading and investing in Indian and global financial markets for all these 28 years. So besides of course algo and HFT, where we are a dominant player and we do about 3.5% of the total daily turnover done on the Indian exchanges. But apart from that, this macro top-down theme of asset management is something which is extremely exciting. When I started 28 years back, that time practically nobody knew what macro top-down asset management is all about. While globally it has been very big for about 4 decades or so, but in India people were not really aware of what this is. I have seen this space evolve and I have seen this space develop over the last 10 years, and I can safely tell you that there is a lot more awareness and consciousness today about what macro top-down is. So most of you would be very familiar with the micro bottoms-up theme of asset management, wherein the fund manager picks up individual stocks or individual companies bond. But in macro top-down, you basically start from the top and you come down and you try to analyze which asset class is going to do well, where we are in the global macroeconomic cycle, where we are in the global macroeconomic cycle as far as India is concerned, and based on that you take your decisions. I can safely tell you that macro top-down theme of asset management is going to explode from here, and we being pioneers and national leaders of this macro top-down theme of asset management in India. We believe that we are going to be the flag bearers of this particular theme, and we've got some industry leading products, and we have outperformed practically all the indices. We have outperformed practically all our peers over the last few years, and we believe that this trend is going to become even more accentuated over the next 3 to 5 years, because the nature of the Indian financial markets is now becoming more of macro than micro. So this is what we've been doing, and I would want to make one point here, that I think right now where we are in terms of the landscape for India, there is this unique opportunity, because not only do we represent one of the largest markets for so many different products and services all over the world, but also we've got a great talent pool, we've got great business models here. I firmly believe that if any business can be a success in India, you can be a success anywhere in the world. So not only are we going to attract a lot of attention and money from overseas, because they want to tap the great Indian market which is growing by leaps and bounds, but also the entrepreneurs here who have time-tested delivery models. Many of us are going to be moving out and also sort of trying to get the global pie, or a big share of the global pie over the years. So this is exactly what my company has done. So today we manage clients' money not just in India but all over the world. We have presence in different parts of the world, and I can safely tell you that when we started 28 years back, the people sitting in London, Singapore and UAE, they were not convinced that an Indian fund manager sitting somewhere in India can manage their money globally. But I can tell you that that thing has completely evolved. And today, the respect which you get as a fund manager from India, sitting in India, is unprecedented. It's like never before. So we've got clients in 30 different countries of the world who rely on us to manage their money not just in the Indian financial markets but also in the global financial markets. So thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, and I thank the organizers and jury for bestowing this honor on us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amit. All are giving very positive message about the new Bharat, new India. And Mr. Amit made the last message, which is very interesting, exciting for us, that we are managing the assets very well. So we have got the best fund managers or asset managers globally. So let people like Mr. Amit collect all the money from the world over, all the wealth, and manage it and give good return to India also, to build India also in the process. Now we have Yogita ji. I would request, Yogita ji, whatever you say, in addition to that, I would like to, since you have come from London, and I think this year only India has beaten UK to occupy the 5th place in the economy, the global economy. And then another thing, Mr. Rishi is not the PM, and British ruled India for 200 years. We were slaves to them. And now, what is the UK story about India? Perception in UK about India?
Sure, thank you, and thanks for that good prelude. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Yogita. I'm the director and co-founder of a talent solutions company called iXit Solutions. We are headquartered in London, but we are a pretty global organization working all across Europe, Southeast Asia, Middle East as well, and India is home. So yes, definitely India. Quickly, what we do, talent, as I think we all agree, is one of the biggest wars that most of the organizations are facing. It's called the war of talent, and here, sort of we come into the picture and try to do our best to sort of align the talent to the needs of the organizations, our clients. We are a very global organization, as I said. And the theme, I think, is very, very apt to the conversation that we are having, which is more around international expansion, more around how the world perceives India. I think in terms of international expansion, what we've seen in the entire decade leading up to the year 2019, we saw that most of the organizations, more than half of the growth was actually obtained through international markets. Working, in markets which are not the home markets for the organizations. And this I'm talking particularly about Asian economies and particularly Eastern Europe economies, not to talk about Latin or North America. So I think international growth is definitely the go-to strategy for any organization. But yes, it does come with its due share of challenges in terms of how you would have that sustainable competitive advantage in the destination market that you want to go to. And and I think the mantra for that is you conquer your own territory first. Beat the local and then go global. And if I talk about India, we all know, India has the largest number of unicorns, the entrepreneurs in the world. So we are all there. And apart from that, just few pointers from my side which I would like to add is that there are a few archetypes of the organizations which I would say would succeed more from an international perspective. And they would fall under certain categories. Either if you are a tech company, like we are a tech solutions provider, tech recruitment solutions provider. We work primarily in the tech and the digital space. So from that perspective, what I've seen is that the tech product companies which are innovators, which have a global product which they can customize more to a local level, more to different countries, considering the country specific risks and sensitivities in mind. I think they are the ones who is one of the archetype that would really succeed in sort of an international expansion spree, apart from some of the other organizations that we've seen. For example, either you are a brand leader, so your brand gels internationally, within, for example, the emerging economies. So, that is also one of the archetypes that I would see would, lead to an international expansion, apart from, as I said, the risks and all which need to be kept in mind of localization, of customization, of understanding how the strong players in that destination market, how they are operating and what is a sustainable competitive advantage that we bring to the table. Yeah, so that would be my thought on international expansion.
Thank you, Yogita ji. I think Mr. Virat. Sorry, yeah. Mr. Piyush, please. Your views on the field.
So guys, usually I think we get the most difficult slot because यहाँ पे पेट भी भारी रहता है और आंखें भी. So, but yeah, I'll try to crack code here. I think I also feel one of the most qualified to be sitting here next to financial wizards, to engineers, to scientists, to a lot of mentors. I'm a simple plain play brand guy. I help build brands, whether in the country or anywhere offshore. I'm the CEO and co-founder of strategic design agency Jumping Goose and piximix.com, which is world's first design tech platform. In this platform, we work with almost about 87 artists, design talent across the globe. Coming from almost about 22 countries now. Our story is quite simple because, and with Jumping Goose, we forayed into, so that we service some parts of UAE, some portions in Europe, now US, foraying into US and SE markets as well. Now, Deepak sir in the morning has actually spoken about this whole India growth story. And I think that India growth story is in itself kind of sums up everything for everybody. And since morning 10 o'clock, we've all been speaking highly about it. I think but the truth is that India growth story was only possible because it was branded in a manner that New Age India connects with. And that's where I feel very strongly that irrespective of whatever sector, whatever domain, whatever brand, whichever expertise we come from, when we talk about expansions in global markets, global circuits, one of the critical aspects is how we narrate our brand story. And that, I think, was commendably done by India itself, and that's what all, we have been talking about. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Piyush. Do you also do branding for India, Bharat?
Oh, we don't, but we'd love to. Whether India or Bharat, whatever it works. So branding doesn't necessarily mean how we call it out and all of that, but it's more the story behind what the concept is, how do we communicate to the end consumer, because at the end of it, we are all entrepreneurs here, and the critical aspect is that we need human interactions, we're dealing with people, and customers connect is the most important piece that we're all following.
We expect to hear from you, since you are from the Trade Promotion Council of India, that how is the trade from India to global markets?
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for this opportunity. I represent Trade Promotion Council of India, and as a trade promotion organization, our core mandate is to provide expansion opportunities for Indian businesses in global markets. The core specialty, or you can say core competence, which we have is to be able to create curated buyer-seller platforms in different parts of the world, where our exporters can go and directly, interact with targeted buyers, take their samples, discuss business opportunities. So we've been doing this work especially across food and beverage, ceramics, and chemicals sectors. I will talk a bit about food and beverage because we come up with a flagship trade show called INDO-GLOBAL every January. It's going to happen in Greater Noida, India Exposition Mart. And the core purpose of INDO-GLOBAL was, as you people rightly pointed out, there are a lot of challenges in exports. We don't solve all of them, but having a buyer connect in your own country rather than having to go to different trade shows, other parts of the world. Moreover, although we will have international exhibitors, but largely Indian exhibitors, it's an exclusive India show. So all kinds of fresh to processed food products are exhibited there. And the idea behind INDO-GLOBAL was that we are a major producer of raw material in agriculture. We are a major agri producer, but even if you look at the trade data, our share of processed food exports is very low. It always makes sense to focus on processed because it obviously carries more value, and it's pivotal to the government's target of doubling farmers' incomes. Moreover, commodities are prone to fluctuations, also issues related to food security. We see that government is compelled to make some bans from time to time in commodities, but you can still be competitive when you are exporting processed food products, right? So I think over the years we have seen that this buyer-seller connect at least has been very useful. We are seeing good traction in exports. Processed food is still an area where India is not a leader, but the kind of growth rate which we are witnessing in the past few years is phenomenal. I would like to, think that we are a part of that, and we are enabling that through our trade platforms. And I think the bigger challenge is that most of this processed food is still going to NRIs, right? And in food, it is very important to be able to curate to the mainstream population of any market. I remember in Europe, we had a European lady who, a biryani which we considered bland, she considered it so spicy she couldn't complete it. She apologized and said, I have to give it up, right? So I think that is a major element of branding, though there are many others. We have to, Indian cuisine has its strengths. People come here to savor Indian cuisine. But if we want to, export our processed food products to the mainstream population, we need to do some adaptation. and possibly learn from players like the restaurants out there, because somehow there are Indian restaurants in different parts of the world who are cracking that code. And I think that is the next level of growth which we see, which would help our processed food exports, and not necessarily we'll have to export commodities, and moreover we'll of course have better value. That's it for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar.
In fact, I should speak last, instead of that I started first. So I just heard all of them, and our services are like, we can definitely connect all of them, because we are largely providing the legal services, and legal is inevitable in every sector. I was listening to Mr. Saha was talking about BHEL is also our esteemed client. They are making a lot of Vande Bharat trains and all, and we are working for the high-speed rail, India's first bullet train assignment, which is Japanese technologies are there. So of course it is a technology-driven thing. And I was thinking that I am odd man out in this technology-driven, but yes, we do support in all dispute, because whenever there is any infrastructure projects and large infrastructure, whether it's a roadside, metro, highway, oil and gas, and any power plant, dispute is inevitable, because there the projects are mostly delayed. And once the project is delayed, there is a dispute between the contractor and the employer who has delayed the projects, because everybody wants to get in time, and if there is a delay in the project, it is a repercussion on the cost side, right? And these are the things. So we work as a evaluator of the claim, and our client is like Tata Projects, L&T, Sato, GF, Cons, all infrastructure companies, including government side like Ministry of Railway, BHEL, National High Speed Railway, NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, all are our clients in infrastructure sector. And infrastructure, as I told, it is a backbone of the India's GDPs, and contributing 10% of that. And India is largely focusing to develop the infrastructure as well as technology. That's all. Yes, Mr. Adarsh.
So Mr. Adarsh is a very smart guy. He has sold his services. Now he wants others to be his client, that have it. If you get into any dispute, or you want IPR, the intellectual property rights and all that, so you can come to me, and disputes, of course, I am there for you. So he wants to have all of them as his clients.
Then provides the disputes first, and then invite
No, dispute is inevitable. Of course, nobody should come for the matrimonial dispute or other dispute. We are dealing with the corporate disputes, all the infrastructure.
Money is there in the corporates.
Yes.
It's fine. So, okay, now the question on the topic itself, that global market education, international expansion strategies. Now there is though we have become the fifth largest economy and our GDP is growing at the highest rate globally, but still we are far behind China. If we compare with China, the size of the economy that they have, we are far behind. And India is, though our Prime Minister Modi went for Make in India, and it has been a good success. It has given us a lot of dividends. But still, India is not known as a global manufacturing hub or an economical manufacturing hub, the way it is economical in China, the mass production, mass manufacturing is economical hub. But the cost at which they are able to manufacture, produce, that should take advantage for them. And India doesn't have factories, manufacturing base, very little abroad. Indian MNCs are very, very few, though we have few Fortune 500 companies, but they do not have, even companies like Reliance, Adani, they are hardly present abroad, in their services or manufacturing, so they are all here only. So unless, how would we be able to penetrate international markets? Only through exports we will not be so successful. So unless we set up manufacturing base for Indian MNCs, we cannot become a global player. So how can we be able to work down these challenges which we have right now?
No, in my view, India is growing very fast because India is the first country who has become the fastest 100 unicorn, because this entire theme is about the entrepreneur, and unicorn is the company which is crossing the $1 billion company and all the startups. So India is number one, and India is growing in every sector, and we are self-dependent also. And as I said that you talked about the China and others. So
okay.
1 minute. So that's why you might have seen that Modi ji is focusing on all these things which is developed in India, and India is doing remarkably good, especially what I did with the road sector and the railway sector. That is really very good, and India is growing very fast. And I look forward to have a very bright future of India in growing, reaching very $1 trillion GDPs, and very soon we will be competing with the China also, maybe sooner or later.
Okay, thank you. So I've given a signal that we have to wind up fast, quickly. So then let's touch upon the new green technologies.
Yeah, I want to just highlight 2-3 things. Manufacturing, as you told, it is only 2% in every sector. But if you see the GDP, the dependency on agriculture in India is more than 65% of people are, whereas in US and other, you will hardly find 2 to 3% people are. So there is a lot of technologies needs to be brought actually to India. So that is a main thing, and processing. Without value addition, trading has no margin. So, if you see a private equity or somebody, I want them to bring to fund to agri-tech or a farmer producer company with 500 farmers managing that company, they will not come because the margins are not so lucrative. If they have a manufacturing, if they are doing some good branded products and the exports are there, then definitely people will come. So that whether you go for a debt or equity, it is very difficult to bring to the farming, large sector. So these are the two areas I wanted to highlight. Third thing is capital. As we were discussing about fintech, going to farmers, each and every farmers, and doing documentation and sanctioning a loan and then giving finance, it is very difficult. I think most of the banks, nationalized banks, NBFCs and everybody, they are reluctant to go. They don't want to finance any FPOs or any individual farmers. So now, fintech coming into play, having a, you will not find a, register also, farmer register or FPO register where the data or income and, like a civil score, there is no score of a farmer. So nobody wants to take risk. So that is another area. If finance, the last mile inclusion will be there, financial inclusion will be there, then definitely, all these areas will improve. So that is the 3 areas I wanted to highlight.
So just the last question, and statistical impact, whoever has got expertise in the green technologies. So how is India placed in green technologies as compared to the developed countries in green technologies? And what is the future of green technologies?
I would like to take both the questions because we are talking of the China story and we are talking of manufacturing. So we are a manufacturing organization. So we are having various competitors. It's not only the government of India doesn't fund us. We are a PSU. So we have to spend on our manufacturing and we have to earn from that to pay for our employees and all. So initially in the thermal sector, China came in a big way with their cheap products like their boilers, generators, turbines and all. So they flooded the Indian market in the last 10 to 15 years. But then Indian corporate houses also and the various state electric utilities, they saw the L1 prices. In government of India, you see the L1 prices. So they ordered the Chinese equipments. But after installation of these equipments in the market, they failed in a big way. So right now, China is nowhere in the Indian market. All the small players are also gone. Right now in our sector, only BHEL stands and L&T stands strong. And we are also not only providing equipments and services to the government-owned companies, we are also giving equipments to Adani's, Ambani's, Tata's, Jindal across India. And not only in India, we have also forayed into the international market, wherein we have given full EPC solutions. We have done erection and commissioning. Right now we are executing projects in Bangladesh. It's 2 into 660 megawatt thermal power station, and we have 2 projects in Nepal. It's a big hydropower project of Nepal. Earlier also we had done for other countries like Afghanistan, Libya. We have presence in across 88 countries around the globe in all the 6 inhabited continents. So that is our presence if you talk globally. Thank you.
So I think what are you there? So probably we have been probably given us a hint. So we have to.
Yes, with that.
All the candidates, and they have really inspired the audience, hopefully, with their great positive messages. The audience must be inspired. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for all your enlightening speech and of course sharing your thoughts. And with that we conclude our second panel discussion. And we will lead to the next one, which is very special to all the women, to all the ladies who are present here today, because it's a woman-led growth panel discussion. And like I say, that women throughout history have shared great knowledge and wise thoughts with a multitude of audiences, and you will be one of them today. And we will have our third panel discussion, right, Mr. Pandey?
Yes, absolutely. And I would like to invite Professor Urmila Sharma, Director of Women's Studies Center at SGT University, to chair this session. I would like to invite Dr. Parminderjeet Kaur, Senior Policy Fellow, Center for Policy Research, CPR PhD, to moderate the session. Mrs. Garima Tyagi, Senior Manager, CIDC under NITI Aayog, Government of India, New Delhi. Dr. Jyotsna Pandit, former Dean, School of Basics and Applied Sciences, Sanskriti University. Ms. Shreya Nair, AGM Operations Optimax SAS, Gurgaon. And again, Ms. Yogita Tulisyani, Director and Co-founder, IXC Solutions Lab.
Yay! Woman power, go woman power.
Over to Parminderjeet Kaur.
Yes. So the topic of this panel discussion is design thinking, HR, skilling, digital marketing and reality.
So in the dynamic landscape of business and innovation, the narrative of growth finds its unique voice through women-led growth. So in this panel discussion, we have some eminent speakers among us. Professor Urmila Sharma Sir has introduced all the speakers. Mrs. Garima Tyagi. So Mrs. Garima Tyagi ma'am is the Manager of Construction Industry Development Council, CIDC, New Delhi. So ma'am, as the construction industry is traditionally a male-dominated sector, so could you share some of the inputs, some of the key points from your journey and some of the key points which your organization as a part of its strategy or initiatives?
Namaskar. Thanks, Omkareshwar ji, giving me this opportunity to share my center's view in front of you. G20 इससे पहले आज का जो सेशन है वीमेन लेड ग्रोथ, मैं यह कहूँगी कि भारत महिला सशक्तिकरण से आगे बढ़ते हुए महिला नेतृत्व विकास की ओर अग्रसर हो रहा है। G20 के बाद भी और G20 से पहले ही भारतीय सरकारें उन्होंने महिलाओं के सशक्तिकरण के लिए योजनाएं बनाई, योजनाएं कार्यान्वित की और उनका परिणाम आप देख रहे हैं कि हम महिलाएं आपके सामने इस मंच को सुशोभित कर रही हैं और यह प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण है कि भारत महिला नेतृत्व विकास को आगे बढ़ाते हुए देश में अपना एक स्थान बना रहा है। भारतीय महिलाएं, यदि हम ऐतिहासिक दृष्टिकोण से देखते हैं, भारतीय महिलाओं ने, यदि हम राजनीतिक व्यवस्था की ओर दृष्टिपात करते हैं, तो हमारे यहाँ पर वर्तमान समय में हमारी महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी महिला हैं और ये महिला नेतृत्व विकास का एक बहुत बड़ा उदाहरण है। इससे पहले हमारी भूतपूर्व प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय श्रीमती गांधी जी, श्रीमती गांधी हमारे देश को जो सशक्त नेतृत्व दे रही थी, वह हमारी भारतीय नेतृत्व विकास की आधारशिला थी। मेरे अपने व्यक्तिगत विचार हैं, महिला सशक्त स्वरूपा पैदा होती है। महिला किसी भी सिचुएशन में धैर्य बनाए रखते हुए किसी भी कार्य को आगे बढ़ा सकती है और आज की महिला यह प्रमाणित कर रही है कि वह अपने व्यवसायिक क्षेत्र और अपने पारिवारिक क्षेत्र दोनों ही क्षेत्रों में सामंजस्य स्थापित करते हुए भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था को, भारतीय सामाजिक व्यवस्था को और भारतीय राजनीतिक व्यवस्था को महिला नेतृत्व प्रदान करते हुए महिला नेतृत्व विकास को आगे बढ़ा रही है। भारतीय महिला, यदि मैं आपके सामने एक छोटा सा उदाहरण दूं, गुजरात में जो डेयरी बिजनेस है वो किस प्रकार से भारतीय महिलाओं ने नेतृत्व दिया और भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था में, भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था की जीडीपी में 4 चांद लगाने में सहयोग दिया। आप देखेंगे राजस्थान में लिच्चू पापड़, अगर हम उस व्यवसाय की बात करते हैं तो भारतीय महिलाओं ने भारतीय नेतृत्व के माध्यम से बहुत पहले ही, G20 में तो आज एजेंडा तय हुआ है, भारतीय महिलाएं बहुत पहले ही भारतीय नेतृत्व के माध्यम से भारतीय विकास का जो ये सिलसिला है उसको आगे ले जाती हुई नजर आ रही है। मैं समय से बंधी हुई हूँ, इसलिए अब मैं मेरी जो साथी हैं उनके प्रश्न पर आऊंगी कि एसीटी विश्वविद्यालय अपने महिला अध्ययन केंद्र के माध्यम से महिला नेतृत्व विकास के लिए किस तरह के टूल्स एंड टेक्निक्स, किस तरह की नीतियां अडॉप्ट करते हुए भारतीय राष्ट्र के विकास में महिला नेतृत्व विकास को आगे बढ़ा रहा है। मैं संक्षिप्त में बताना चाहूंगी कि एसीटी विश्वविद्यालय का यह महिला अध्ययन केंद्र जागरूकता अभियान के माध्यम से ग्रास रूट लेवल पर शैक्षिक शिक्षा, महिला के लिए शिक्षा एक की पॉइंट है। महिला नेतृत्व विकास यदि भारत को चाहिए तो भारत की प्रत्येक बेटी को शिक्षित होना होगा। शिक्षित होने के साथ साथ उसे जागरूक होना होगा और यह शिक्षा और जागरूकता की मशाल उन बेटियों का दायित्व होगा कि वो इसे आगे बढ़ाते हुए बिना किसी सरकारी पॉलिसी के, बिना किसी सरकारी योजना के इस भारतीय नेतृत्व विकास के माध्यम से भारत राष्ट्र के विकास का जो ग्लोबल सपना है उसको पूर्ण करेंगे। हमने यह योजना बनाई कि 11th और 12th के माध्यम से जो बच्चे स्कूल से बाहर नहीं जा पाते हैं, जेंडर सेंसिटाइजेशन के बारे में जो मशाल सेंटर लेकर चला उसे कैसे पहुंचाएं। हमने आउटरीच आउटरीच एक्टिविटी के माध्यम से स्कूल्स अडॉप्ट किए और उस अडॉप्शन के माध्यम से जेंडर सेंसिटाइजेशन का जो अवेयरनेस कार्यक्रम है वो उन बच्चों तक, उनके पेरेंट्स तक और टीचर्स को इस कड़ी में समेटते हुए इस कार्य को आगे बढ़ाने का कार्य कर रही है। मैं समय सीमा से बंधी थी और मेरे पास मैसेज भी आ गया है, कहने को बहुत कुछ है, लेकिन मैं यह कहूँगी कि मेरी शुभकामना है और बेस्ट विशेष और आशीर्वाद है कि भारत की प्रत्येक महिला अपने कदमों पर चलकर बिना किसी नीति के यह दिखा दे कि भारत राष्ट्र भारतीय महिला के नेतृत्व के साथ ही देश में नाम कमा सकता है, ऋषि गुरु का दर्जा पा सकता है। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Professor Urmila Sinha. Ma'am, we can start from here. You can introduce yourself and some key points about the women-led growth, some of the best strategies if you come across your organization is providing you.
Good afternoon everyone, my name is Shreya and I am representing a renowned consulting firm by the name of Optimax. We are in the market for a couple of years now. Optimax is a consulting firm and we provide services in terms of advisory and consulting in 7 domains. We ace in government affairs, policy advocacy, legal, tax, and I think if there's any synergies you can connect with me in person. But to answer to your question, before I move on to that, I'd like to thank the organizers, and it's a privilege to sit here on the stage with these ladies here who are experts, who have excellencies in their field, and coming up and speaking upon a topic which is women-led initiatives. The fact that women-led initiatives is being discussed in such a panel itself shows how far we've come in our journey. Talking about the initiatives and talking about the question that you've had, I feel that the strategies in particular, there can't be one single strategy. I think it's a very individualistic approach. But yes, getting to know the core nature of the organization that you're working with, getting to know the expectations of the business environment, getting to know the innovations that are there in the market, and responding with the adaptability and agility is one thing that has helped me in person and could also help people who are in the similar fields. I particularly feel that I'm a lifelong learner. I go to work every day, of course with the knowledge bag that I have, but there's also a clean slate, and I ensure that I fill it with the experiences that I have learned in that day and use it sometime in the future. My founder of the organization, who's not here, he was here sometime back, says this one thing, that if you have fire within you, there's nothing you can't achieve. And a message to the women of the generation today is, go and show the extreme version of yourself. Go the extra mile, it's never crowded there. So that's what I've been following and that's what we've been doing here. Thank you so much.
This is so apt, go to extra mile.
Good afternoon everyone. Myself Garima Tyagi and I am representing the construction industry Republic Council right now. I belong to sector of skilling actually, and we are basically focusing on construction sector. The main focus is in construction. Sorry to say that in construction we are not pleased with women's.
Yes.
We are not happy to take engineers, we are not happy to take the supervisors at the position. If I talk about the women positions, you can't find any engineer in the organization. You find so many areas where they used to say, no, don't give me women man. I'm not able to hire these people, I'm not able to hire the girls at site. Why don't the girls at site? If we are capable of doing everything everywhere, so why not the women's at construction site? So if I talk about the policies for our sector, for women's sector, definitely we will look forward for the construction companies. We'll make some policies for the construction companies that they should dedicate some percentage of women participants, women employees in their sector, especially at site. That's it from my side. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Dr. Kiran, I would also like to add to it that this change begins from the grassroots level. Nowadays, we have started seeing girls in, like I did my PhD from IDD. So we have started seeing girls in civil engineering department, mechanical department, which were earlier, the girls were not visible in these domains. So I hope when the level of the participation of women in these streams is increasing at the education level. So hopefully we'll see them soon in the workforce also.
Yes, we talk about women empowerment. When we come to skilling, the one thing come to our mind is tailoring for women. The other thing come like beauty parlor. Have some techniques, learn fashion designing, learn parling and open it.
Yeah.
We don't think about where the girls can move ahead in construction sector.
Right. So hopefully
we can't be
more than the workforce.
Like the girls may be the safety supervisors, they will be the safety engineers. We are not moving forward for that. I'm looking forward to the same thing for that for next event. I hope I have something to say about this. Thank you, ma'am.
I think she very rightly said that there's a scarcity of women, especially in a construction sector, but why do we forget that the first people who were our mentors or who were our people who used to look up to, people who we found our ideals were women as educators. So education has always, so I remember back then, I'd like to quote, just in 2 minutes I'd like to quote one thing, that back then I started my journey as an educator itself. And there was a task that I had given to these students of my class wherein I asked them to take a paper, divide it into 4, draw a doctor, draw a nurse, draw a teacher and draw a farmer. So by this time, when we concluded, there was a male doctor, there was a female nurse, there was a male farmer and there was a female educator. Obviously talking about the gender here, why not a female farmer? There are female farmers and why not a male nurse? So, thank you so much for bringing this up. I think
Stereotype is also one of
of course. And I feel that, you know, empowering women is not just only about, you know, that will not suffice us. Spreading awareness, giving equal opportunities, which I feel I'm very grateful at Optimax because they particularly ensure that, you know, women are there. They have certain biasness towards hiring women, female employees. But yeah, it's a small step and I think we need more such things in the industry. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to all. I'm Dr. Jyotsna Pandit. I'm a professor at KEC Ghaziabad. Earlier I was the Dean, School of Basic and Applied Sciences at Sanskriti University, Mathura. So first of all, thank you so much to the organizers for bringing me here, and it's my honor and privilege to be a part of this all-women panel. It's really wonderful. The theme is very apt, women-led empowerment. We have been talking for ages about the women empowerment, but yes, as my co-panelists have already discussed, there are certain areas in which we find there is a dearth of women exploring all the fields. Belonging to the education sector, I have myself seen that civil engineering, mechanical engineering, they are the most deserted, you know, engineering branches where very less females are there. The girls are, you know, not very much interested because the nature of the job after the completion of the degree, what they are going to do, they are not much, you know, having the flexible timings. As the construction sites are there, it is considered one of the toughest jobs. So, by default, the females do not opt for these fields. This is the drawback of the nation, that civil engineers who are considered as the nation builders and mechanical engineering, which was once used to be called as the evergreen branch, they are all shutting up. Whatever is pertaining in the institutes is computer science, electronics and IT sectors, all these branches are prospering. So girls find it very easy to cope up with these fields so that later they can have the jobs in these related areas. But yes, few girls are also taking the initiatives that why can't we take the position here in the civil or the mechanical branches as well. So education is important, and we are going to see all the females also in the not so popular and all male dominated sectors also. They are going to prosper soon. Thank you so much from my side.
That's true, ma'am. So hopefully we'll see more role models like in ISRO space mission. We have seen so many women participants, so many scientists were there women. So that seeing the more role models in the domain, maybe we can see more women in the workforce. And your take on this.
So a very good afternoon once again. I am really thankful to Business Connect for inviting me for this panel discussion, which is very close to my heart. And just to let you know, I wasn't aware I was a part of this panel discussion because I already did one. But I think women and women-led growth is something which is very, very close to my heart. And as mentioned by my fellow panelists, there's a long way. I mean, there's still a very, very long way we need to go when we talk about women empowerment. And it's not only empowering women, it's also about evolving. It's about, it's high time that everybody, male, female, men, women, we all evolve in our thoughts. What I see, and without any prejudice or comment, that women have really gone a long way in empowering themselves. But I guess men do need to evolve and sort of come at par with that.
Thank you very much, Yogita ji, and thank you all
so
the
much,
panelists.
ladies. That was such a stimulating session. Thank you so much. You can make your way to your seats. Excellent. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for, we've definitely got a treat for your eyes and for your soul, of course. I have the greatest pleasure today to introduce to you an actress, a celebrity who has been entertaining us for years with a list of credits that is staggering as well as impressive. From her cute, bubbly looks in Sonia in Kahuna Pyar Hai, to her bold and daring role in Gadar and Gadar 2. Without any further ado, I'm pretty sure you already know who has graced her with her presence. Would you please put your hands together and give a very, very warm welcome to the very elegant Anushka Patel.
Mr. Abhishek Dubey and Mr. Ashutosh, please accompany her on the stage.